Every year, we crown a new contender, a young, exciting team with talent, energy, and a highlight reel full of promise. But somehow, we keep forgetting the one thing that actually wins in the playoffs: experience. And this year, the Warriors aren't just back. They might be better built for the postseason than ever before. While everyone's watching the favorites, Golden State is quietly stacking wins, leaning on a trio of stars who know exactly what it takes to survive the grind in Curry, Draymond, and yes, Jimmy Butler. But it's not just the names, it's the chemistry, the defense, the depth. This team isn't just sneaky good, they're a problem. And the rest of the league? They might not have a solution. From the opening tip of round one, everything gets more intense, more physical, more brutal. Schemes that worked in January fall apart. Rotations shrink, weak defenders get hunted, one-way scorers vanish, every possession matters, and mistakes leave scars. This is where two-way players thrive. The energy, focus, and resilience required in April far outpace anything you need in October. Transition buckets fade, half-court execution becomes everything. It's not just basketball anymore, it's survival. And the numbers back it up. Since 1980, only two playoffs had more possessions per game than the regular season. In 2024, teams averaged 98.5 possessions during the season, and that dropped to just 92.6 in the playoffs. 17 of the last 20 finals were even slower than the rounds before them. That's not random. The deeper the run, the more deliberate the game. Defenses tighten, open shots become a luxury, driving lanes close. If your offense lives by the three, the pressure might kill it. League-wide, shooting percentages dip across the board because the physicality ramps up and the mental weight grows heavier. It's not just about X's and O's, it's about mentality. Crowds are louder, road games feel like cage matches. Coaches ditch rest plans, it's win today, worry about tomorrow later. Your stars are playing 40-plus minutes with no relief. The contact? Different. Every cut, screen, and rebound turns into a collision. The refs swallow the whistle. What's a foul in February is play on in May. This is why playoff experience matters. You can't fake it. Veteran teams like the Warriors don't panic. They stay poised in chaos. They've seen every scenario: hostile crowds, cold shooting nights, fourth quarter collapses. And that calm? That's the separator in the playoffs. Not just talent, but the ability to survive when everything around you starts to break. See, throughout NBA history, playoff experience is a way of turning into playoff wins. It's not a theory, it's a pattern. Teams with that postseason mileage tend to outperform their regular season expectations when it matters most. The reason's simple. Experience builds trust, trust builds execution, and execution wins playoff games. There are 82 game players, and then there are 16 game players. A lot of guys can give you buckets in January, but only a few survive when the pace slows down, the defense tightens, and every possession turns into a chess match. The Warriors? They've got players who do both. Regular season killers who somehow get even more dangerous in the playoffs. We've seen it year after year. The Warriors in the playoffs are a different animal. Same jersey, different mindset. And that's because their core isn't built to survive the postseason, it's built to win it. Three veterans on that roster shift into an entirely new gear when the lights go up. Steph turns into an MVP again, Draymond becomes the defensive engine, and Jimmy, well, they literally call him Playoff Jimmy. These aren't just guys with experience, these are battle-tested killers with multiple rings and deep playoff scars to prove it. No other team in the league has that trio of playoff-proven firepower. Not one. That's what sets the Warriors apart right now. You can see it in their first round matchup with the second-seeded Rockets. The difference is clear. One team's trying to prove they belong, the other's been here a dozen times and already knows how the story ends. Now, the 16-game player label isn't handed out like candy. It's earned through blood, sweat, and playoff wins. And if anyone in today's league embodies that title, it's Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. Starting with Steph, honestly, there's not much left to say. Everyone's seen it. The babyface assassin turns into something else entirely when the playoffs hit. He's not just the greatest shooter of all time, he might be the most dangerous big game player of his generation. When the pressure spikes, he doesn't fade, he feeds off it. 4 rings, a finals MVP, 5 straight finals appearances from 2015 to 2019. And then another championship in 2022 without KD, with Clay still recovering, and with half the world doubting them. This isn't just a resume, it's a blueprint for how to dominate when it matters. And the numbers, they back it all up. The Warriors have won 82.1% of their playoff series when Steph plays. They've won 67.3% of individual playoff games with him on the court. This postseason, he's already dropped 2 30-point games and handed out 9 assists and 2 others. And he does it all without being a physical monster. No towering height, no freakish athleticism, just pure skill, surgical IQ, and that ice-cold jumper that never seems to miss when the moment's biggest. This isn't just playoff greatness, this is playoff mastery. Then you've got playoff Jimmy, and yeah, that nickname might sound like a gimmick, but it's not. The man's earned it. He led a Miami Heat squad to the finals twice as a number 5 seed or lower. And when the Warriors got him, they weren't just betting on his regular season numbers, they were banking on that playoff switch flipping when it mattered. At the time Butler joined, the Warriors were 10th in the West. They needed him to shift gears early, and that's exactly what he did. He helped them climb the standings and brought a whole new edge to their defense, partnering with Draymond to lift the team to top-tier defensive efficiency across the board. On-ball screens, contested shots, hardcore D. Jimmy made everyone around him sharper. And true to form, his game leveled up once the postseason hit. In the play-in against Memphis, Butler dropped 38 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 40 grinding minutes. Before that, he hadn't even cracked 30 in a game since arriving in the Bay. Then in Game 1 against Houston, he played 42 minutes, put up 25, 7, 6, 5, and helped steal home court. He tweaked something in Game 2, missed Game 3, but came back for Game 4 with the Warriors up 2-1. What did he do? Dropped 27, with 14 of those coming in the fourth, when both teams could barely buy a bucket. It felt like a switch flipped. That was playoff Jimmy. This guy's not just clutch. He's statistically better in the playoffs across the board. More points, more rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks. Out of his 16 career 40-point games, half have come in the playoffs. Nobody else with at least 5 40-point games can say that. When April hits, Jimmy's not just ready, he becomes a different beast. Together, they form a duo that can take any team down. Curry, constantly on the move, uses screens to get open, hitting those soul-crushing threes in the midst of total chaos. Meanwhile, Butler operates like clockwork inside the arc. With the ball, he's looking for mismatches, driving to either create for a teammate, score, or draw a foul, all while taking the most efficient steps possible. Curry and Butler aren't just stars, they're closers, masters of the grinded-out, slow-burn type playoff basketball that wins championships. But as much as having offensive stars who thrive under playoff pressure is crucial, having defensive killers is just as vital. Defense often makes the difference between winning and losing in the postseason, and no one exemplifies that better than Draymond Green. He's one of 10 players with a minimum of 100 playoff games who have higher career averages in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in the playoffs compared to the regular season. And let's be real, Draymond knows how to raise his game when the lights are brightest. While Draymond is known for his trash talk and sometimes dirty plays, it's his defense that truly stands out. As the leader of the Warriors' defense, his success hinges on 3 key elements: effort, IQ, and natural gifts. In Game 4 against the Rockets, we saw this firsthand. Despite having 5 fouls and a technical in the first half, Draymond was on the floor when it mattered most. With the game on the line, he was tasked with defending Şengün, who had been dominating with 31 points. Draymond faced him one-on-one and, with smothering defense, forced Şengün's shot to fall short, securing the stop that ultimately helped seal the win for the Warriors. This isn't new for Draymond. A finalist for this season's Defensive Player of the Year and a previous winner, he's one of the best defenders of his generation. He's the Warriors' defensive coordinator, making sure his teammates are in the right positions while covering multiple opponents himself. He can guard anyone, from the 1 to the 5, making him a true playoff weapon. But it's not just Draymond leading the charge on defense for the Warriors. They've also got Jimmy Butler, known for shutting down bigger players, a skill the Warriors have often lacked. Butler's physicality allows him to guard all 5 positions, and his grit was on full display on Game 4 when, despite dealing with a bruised pelvis, he chased down Dylan Brooks and fouled him so hard it threw Brooks off. Brooks missed both free throws, sending a clear message that Butler wasn't backing down. Along with Draymond, Butler has been a key factor in the Warriors' defensive success, but it doesn't stop there. Players like Gary Payton Jr. also make a huge impact. As a dominant on-ball defender, Payton can force turnovers, cut off passing lanes, and pick pockets, key for both defense and transition offense. Even players like Buddy Hield, who aren't typically known for high-stakes defense, have stepped up. Together, the Warriors' defense may not be physically imposing, but it has the grit and capability to shut down opposing offenses enough to let their offense do the rest. That said, the 2025 NBA playoffs have definitely turned up the physicality, pushing the level of intensity far beyond what we saw during the regular season. We've seen it all. Jamal Murray picking up Norman Powell like he's in a UFC fight, Kristaps Porzingis bleeding from an Orlando elbow and keeping it moving with 5 stitches in his forehead, and JJ Redick going off about the Lakers' lack of physicality in Game 2. But let's be real, this kind of physicality is nothing new. The playoffs are always about harder hits, tougher fouls, and more intense physical battles. Offense and defense both demand that you take and dish out hits if you want to compete. And that's where the Warriors shine. They've got Draymond, who's delivered more kill shots than anyone since Bill Laimbeer, using his trash talk and physical play to go toe-to-toe with anyone, no matter the size. Then there's Jimmy Butler, a physical presence who can battle on defense while playing tough for his team. Curry might not be physically imposing, but try keeping up with his non-stop off-ball movement, and you'll quickly feel the wear and tear. And let's not forget the underrated players like Gary Payton II, Moses Moody, and even Quinton Post. Each one can create chaos in their own way. The playoffs are a grind, and the physicality is off the charts. There's no room for feeling sorry for yourself if you get hit hard. You get back up and keep playing. That's what the Warriors did when Butler went down in Game 3, still coming up with a win against a physical Rockets team. Or how they managed with Draymond sitting out most of the second half in Game 4 due to foul trouble, but still battling through the physicality of the Rockets' big man like Şengün and Steven Adams. The Warriors have shown they can match up physically with anyone. And right now, I don't see any team like the bad boy Pistons in this playoff to challenge that. But another critical piece of a championship caliber playoff team is depth. And right now, the Warriors are absolutely stacked with it. They've got players who can step up and deliver when called upon. Take Brandon Podziemski, for example. With Klay Thompson now in Dallas, Podziemski has stepped into the starting shooting guard role, and he's not just filling it, he's making an impact. He's 4th on the team in scoring and has already thrived along Curry in the backcourt. In Game 4 against the Rockets, he dropped 26 points, played clutch defense, and hit big threes, and took over when Steph wasn't having his usual night. Then there's Buddy Hield, who, when he's in rhythm, is practically unstoppable. He's got the scoring ability and the size, but he's also stepped up defensively, which is a huge bonus for the Warriors. Moses Moody has also come into his own as a solid small forward, and he's part of that young core that's meshing well with veteran leadership. He's only going to get better as the playoffs continue. All of this depth makes a massive difference. The Warriors aren't just about the Splash Bros anymore. They've quietly rebuilt one of the deepest benches in the West. And what's even better is that every one of these guys can shoot. Depth in the playoffs is huge because your stars aren't going to be on fire for every minute of every game. Having a solid bench that can step up and contribute makes all the difference. All in all, this Warriors team is built to win in the way they've always won. With playoff-tested veterans, a coach who knows the postseason grind, and a squad that can adapt on the fly. Curry, Green, and Butler handle the playmaking, and Kerr has the flexibility to adjust around them. Whether it's Buddy Hield getting hot from deep, Moses Moody providing that two-way presence, or even Quinton Post adding size along Green, the Warriors have all the tools. They can go small, big, switch heavy, or run and gun, whatever it takes to overwhelm younger teams. But the real secret weapon? The Warriors have 3 players who get better in the playoffs. No one else has that. Playoff Jimmy, MVP Steph, defensive enforcer Draymond Green. These guys know the stakes and thrive when it counts most. The Warriors may not be the favorite in the West, but with their mix of experience, athleticism, and three-point shooting, they're more than capable of knocking off any team. The playoffs still belong to those who've been there before, and this Warriors squad knows how to make the moments count. Is Golden State the most dangerous underdog in the West? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss more playoff breakdowns just like this.